Parents of an 18-year-old patient have still not seen their daughter after she was allegedly raped by another patient at the Mahatma Gandhi Hospital. It's believed that the perpetrator, who has not been arrested, is still in the same hospital as his victim, even though a case has been opened. The community is expected to protest outside the hospital. Our reporter Dasen Thatiah brings us more. Dasen, the story sounds utterly bizarre and horrific at the same time.
It does, Annika, and what's worse is that there aren't many details that have come out about this case just yet. That protest that you spoke about just now, that's already started. You'll see some of the community members are here outside the gate to that hospital, and they also, just like the family of that victim, want as many answers as possible. I'm going to talk to one of the organizers of this protest now, Mr. Jonathan Anipin. Jonathan, thank you for joining me. As I mentioned, the details seem pretty sketchy for now, but what do we know about how the incident actually took place?
Thank you, Dasen. Good morning to you and to your listeners, to your viewers. So what we know this morning is that over the weekend, I think on Sunday it was, a 18-year-old female was sexually assaulted by a fellow patient at the hospital. I'm told that both the patients are psych patients, and the perpetrator had followed the victim into the bathroom, had assaulted her in there, and the matter was reported then to the hospital, and an SAPS case has now been opened.
What happened then, what happened then when the case was reported to the hospital? I know that you have been in touch with the family, so I imagine that they've shared these details with you.
So initially I'm told that the hospital staff were a bit apprehensive about getting the case reported, because they said that this is a psych patient, and they were not believing what she had to say. I think it took some time after the family had insisted that a SAPS case be opened. That was done, and thereafter they had done a rape kit. But we're a bit concerned about that, because I'm told this morning that it takes between 4 and 6 weeks before that rape kit's results are issued. And I think for a matter like this, which is a serious issue which has happened in a state health institution, that should have been fast-tracked.
As I understand it, the patient is still at the hospital, right?
Yes, both the patient and the perpetrator are still in the hospital. Patient's been moved from the casualty ward, but the perpetrator is still there. And it's disturbing to note this, and that there are about 24 psych patients in casualty, because the psych ward here at this facility, which is not actually a formal psych ward, but the facility that they do use is full to capacity, as well as the other facilities, so they can't transfer. This is a danger not only to other patients who are in the hospital, but also to staff. And I'm told that many of these patients have been here for about a week now.
And just lastly, so what is the community calling for? Will you be delivering a memorandum, for example, to the hospital? What's next?
So we've spoken to the hospital PRO during the week. I personally spoke to her, because we were concerned that the parents were not allowed to see the patient, the victim. We have requested that the hospital allow for the parents to meet with the child, with the daughter. And then we've also requested that the results for the rape kit be fast-tracked. And aside from that, the perpetrator should actually be incarcerated while this investigation is going on.
Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Jonathan Anipin. There, Annika, some very serious allegations coming out, and hopefully we will be able to shed more light on this case after we engage with the SAPS as well as the health department and how they intend to handle this.
Thank you so much. That's Dasen Thatiah speaking to us from Durban about a horrific story. A psych patient apparently allegedly raping another patient in casualty, and both still in the same hospital.